Okay, so I am recording this on the 26th of October. I will be posting this on the 26th of October. I'm probably just going to watch it once after I get done recording it, and then I'm going to upload it straight to the YouTube. I just want to get something out real quick. So I just put up my audio test. I did a little test shot yesterday of kind of running through what I want this channel to be. So then that's what this is. This is me kind of doing like an introductory, explaining what my channel is for those that are curious, and for those who might have found their way here due to other things. And this, so it'll be the first thing that you see ideally for now. I would like to do other things with it. I would like to have, I'll probably upgrade to a better camera, maybe upgrade to a better microphone, utilize visual aids and stuff. But I just wanted to put something out so that if you do stumble in here, so you kind of know what I'm all about, and what I want this this channel to be all about. So I am using the pseudonym of Tom Mooney. I am not the Tom Mooney, but I do go by Tom Mooney in the online denizens. I think denizens is the right word for that. I don't know. I had to Google what denizens means, but it's a cool sounding word, right? I don't want to just I don't want to just use big words because they sound cool, but I do know some big words. um, no, I want to use language um, that's approachable for everybody. I don't want to use super thick I don't want to use vexing verbosity to try and get a message across. I think simpler language works the best to reach the widest audience. So what audience am I trying to reach? What is this show about? What is this channel about? What am I about? For those that don't know me, and the vast majority of people don't know me, I am not that well known of a person. So the Tom Mooney channel is just a video log that's going to be discussing what I've written down here: the crises of modern society, be they economic, political, social, or climatological. And so what that means is that discussing modern events, and we were inundated with it constantly, just a constant belt of horror that we see through these things, through the internet, through our computers. It's just a constant, the television, if you look at the television anywhere, if you go in a public setting, you're constantly belted with these just everything going on, and it's just a never-ending torrent, and it's terrifying. It's terrifying if you look beyond the surface level propaganda that's pressed by major news organizations, by the American government, and this is for an American audience. Every government pushes their propaganda, sure, whatever. But the American government is the best at pushing propaganda. They have turned it into an art form that is the envy of any other society or governmental organization that has ever existed. And so you're hit with this constantly, and how do you see through all the bullshit of it, right? How do you get through all that? So that's one of the things that I want to dissect and go into in this, and it's mostly just through my talking, my understanding, my investigation of it. I would like to do interviews with people and talk with people, with friends, with experts, with people that know more than I do, because I don't know everything. Come on, I'm just some random Joe Schmo on the internet. Like, what the hell do I know, right? There's so many people out there that have so much more information, and so in the political sense and economic sense, coming at it from a leftist like mindset, because obviously if you're a fascist, turn the fucking TV off right now. Fascist. Don't do that. I'm gonna edit that out. I'm gonna have to edit that out. So if you're a fascist, like, turn this off. Don't watch this. You don't need the information. I don't want to talk to you. I have nothing to give to you, or you have nothing. Just don't. I don't want anything to do with you. But so from a leftist mindset and a leftist ideology, I consider myself a communist leftist. I'm not as well read on all the stuff as I need to be, but every day every day you're getting closer to that ideal of understanding the theories and the ideology and everything. So that said, um, you look at it through this mindset of we have a template for how to fix it and how to change the world for to be a better place, right? We don't have the blueprint and the exact telling us what to do, but we have an ideal of what we should strive for, right? And people have striven for it in the past, and it hasn't always been met with success, and it's been met with an incredible amount of pushback and resistance and reaction, where the term reactionary comes from, right? And so that then looking at it from that mindset is where I push my beliefs and my views from, and my understanding and rationalization of world events, of economic events, social events, political events, and specifically climatological events, because the world is not doing well and we are only making it worse by continuing with this mode of production that we're in. And so everything is geared towards understanding things better so that we can push towards changing that, right? That's that's this show in a nutshell. I just want to reach a wider audience, talk to more people, explain more things, help them understand better, and have them help me understand better for the work that I do in my personal life and in IRL world and out in the real world. Because you're not going to change the world by talking to a camera or by putting your ideas constantly out on social media, right? It's a useful tool. Don't get me wrong. It's a great tool. It's a wonderful tool for reaching people and understanding people. But the act of actually changing our society and changing our world and changing how we all interact with one another to make and build a sustainable society, it doesn't come from online interaction. It comes from real world interaction and from the praxis that you do on the ground. So that's where this is all geared towards. I know I've said this is all geared towards like multiple different things, and it's geared towards multiple different things. This is kind of a rambling rant. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of videos that are rambling rants because that'd be a good name for the show too, rambling rants. I'm not going to do that. That'd be terrible. So that's what this is all in. So my background, I recently completed my history degree, a bachelor's history degree, which I got on that real quick in life, right? I'm 31, 32 now, and I finally got it. Prior to that, I spent a decade in the armed forces. I'm out of that, well out of that, thankfully. And you make of that what you will. I didn't commit any war crimes, thankfully. I didn't have to be witness to any war crimes or cover up anything. I'm not complicit in it. And I'm sure people have their debates about that, whatever. I know where my conscience lies on all that stuff. But so I use that experience, a decade overseas, going all around the world and meeting just tons of interesting people in countries all over the planet on every continent. I try to use that experience, and that guides my worldview, right? Like I went into the military at 17 and came out on the other side as a communist. So I didn't quite follow the path that most people take for that sort of thing. My radicalization process, I guess, was very different. And not so plenty of people come out with similar mindsets that I do. Whether they know it or not, a lot of people come out and they have that mindset, but they don't have that understanding of like leftist theory, or they don't read it. It's just not interesting to them, but they understand the issues of the issues of society and the political issues of the world. They just don't come to that conclusion. Not saying that my conclusion is a perfectly correct one to come to, but it's one that works for me, and it's one that helps to push my worldview. So that's my background, and then that's what this show is about. And so some of the things that I'll be discussing, I'll have episodes on historical theories. I'll have episodes on historical events. I want to have episodes discussing modern issues that are going on, current events, things like that. And it's just probably be a weekly, bi-weekly sort of thing, depending on what my free time looks like going forward. We're about to go into the winter, and I'm way up north in the United States, so we're about to have several feet of snow just constantly, which is great because I don't like to go outside in the snow. I mean, I do, but not if I can help it, right? And so it'll give me a lot of time to sit down here and to do my work. I also want to do interviews with people. I'm in the process of lining up those interviews, so those will be a forthcoming thing along with everything else. And also I want to do critiques. I want to well, critiques is a harsh word. I don't want to I don't want to just use it as an opportunity to bash people because for their beliefs or whatever. Like as long as it's not anything tremendously reactionary, or, nothing tremendously like yeah, it's easy to go in there and talk shit about Nazis, right? That's you're in theory preaching to the choir, especially from a leftist. For a leftist audience, like, yeah, no, we don't fucking like Nazis. And I want to try to reduce infighting as much as I can. It's not to say I'm a leftist unitarian, a united front sort of leftist, I guess. A hard term. But I don't want to just go out of my way to scream at other leftists and say that they're doing everything wrong, or that their opinions are absolutely wrong and that mine is the only one true way of the light, right? I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the perspectives, right? All I can do is try to bring to light and highlight different ways of looking at the world and different ways of approaching problems. And also on that point as well, like I'm just a straight white guy doing a YouTube or a podcast or whatever. Like I'm dime a dozen. Okay, you can throw me up against a wall, like a lineup with 50 people that do the exact same thing and fit the exact same profile that I do, and it's all going to look the same. It's not anything groundbreaking. So in order to break that mold and to try and do something different, I want to at least like preface everything with saying I don't think I have all the answers. I know for a fact I don't have all the answers, right? That's the known unknown in my head, to quote the late, thankfully dead Donald Rumsfeld. I'm so glad that asshole died. Him and Colin Powell, they both died. Kick the bucket. Good times. Not to dance on their graves, but given the opportunity, I would piss on the graves. So say, yeah, I don't know. I don't know it all, right? And I look with some disdain towards the people that act like they know it all, or that think they know it all. Like that sort of arrogance, that sort of overconfidence that does not lead to, it doesn't lead to meaningful change. It doesn't lead to a meaningful existence. There are people that have a lot of information. There's people that have an immense wealth of information, and they have an immense idea of how to, I'm playing with tweezers, by the way. They have an immense idea of how to change things and to make things better. And those people are the ones that we should absolutely elevate. But it's important to have the conversation and to ultimately decide on the best ways forward for people. And so that brings me to the last point of what this is all about, is that it's about figuring out how to actually go down that path of changing the world, of where it starts here in the United States and in Canada. But because I don't, a quick insight in my philosophy on that, for bringing about some sort of socialist change in the world, is that you can't, anywhere it happens in the world, and we see it to this modern day, the United States puts their thumb in it, right? We interact everywhere on the planet to maintain a global hegemony, and it's really hard to get those movements going elsewhere on the planet without the United States and our accomplices in Western Europe messing it all up, right? We constantly wreck everything just to make it, to pin that defeat on the ideas of socialism and like, human goodwill. And that's what the basis of this ideology is, right? It's taking care of people and building a society that takes care of all people and not just a few wealthy elites. It's not doing it for profits, it's doing it for people. I mean, at the end of the day, be you a Marxist-Leninist or a third worldist or an anarchist or an anarcho-communist, anarcho-syndicalist, whatever your flavor of the leftist bent of ideology is, not a single one of them is predicated on the idea of doing things for profit or doing things for nebulous ideas like I'm a libertarian for liberty, or I'm a monarchist to uphold the queen or the king or whatever. Like, no, it's none of that shit, right? It's for taking care of people. Whatever your ideology is on the leftist side of the spectrum, that's where it boils down to. And so this is for discussing this with other people and discussing it with the viewers on figuring out the best ways to go forward and do that, and to make those real changes in your life, and where to get involved and how to organize, and the ways to actually make impactful, meaningful change, right? Because incrementalism is going to kill us all. It's it might not be the end of society in my lifetime, but certainly in the lifetime of my children and grandchildren, it's the end state of our society if we don't do something radical to change it now. If we fail to act within our lifetime, the lifetimes of those coming after us are shit. They're done. It's going to be like Mad Max, but way less cool. Nobody's going to be wearing leather gimp suits and playing flaming guitars in that future. It's going to be just bleeding to death in 150-degree heat in Maine, or in extreme environments. Like, it's going to be deaths on an untold, just horrific level. And so we have to make that change, and we have to do it now. There's no time. We are out of time. We have to do something. And so that's what this is, me reaching out for on cyberspace to reach people. And that I'm also probably going to trumpet what we're doing in reality on the ground in my own town to make those changes. So yeah, my only let's see, so that's that point. So the name Tom Mooney, for those that don't know, or who aren't as studied in that particular part of history, so the name, I originally got it from a machine gun company that fought during the Spanish Civil War in 1936, 1939. So they called themselves the Tom Mooney Company, and I was just like, oh, that's a pretty cool name. I'll use that as an online moniker. And so for a while now, I've been using Tom Mooney as my online pseudonym. And so I've decided I might as well carry it over to YouTube for starting this channel and just go by Tom Mooney. And it's more in memory of where the Tom Mooney Company got their name from. And it's from a labor organizer, a militant labor organizer who cracked lots of skulls in San Francisco during the beginning of the 20th century, in 1910s, 1920s. Well, 1910s. 1916, he and one other person, William Blaine, were arrested in connection to the Preparedness Day bombing that happened in San Francisco. There's a big Preparedness Day parade. A whole bunch of troops and stuff were out there. A whole bunch of people were coming out cheering, yeah, rah, rah, let's go buy war bombs and go to war and get some people killed for imperialist fucking ambitions. Tom Mooney was not a fan of this, neither was William Blaine. However, they weren't the ones that set off the bomb. At least the evidence didn't point to them. The evidence in their trials was botched. They were originally sentenced to death. Their sentences got commuted to, I believe they were both commuted to life imprisonment. I've got to look up the actual facts on that, but they were both in prison for a long ass time. Tom Mooney was released in 1942. The reasons for his release, partly because we were trying to lessen some animosity between the United States and communist fronts, because we were starting to support the Soviet Union and the Red Army as much as we could. Well, as much as we could. That's a whole nother story. But so we were trying to kind of do some repatriation between the United States and communist elements. And so he was released from prison. However, he was in ill health and shortly died afterwards. But so during his entire time in prison from 1916 to 1942, there was letter writing campaigns, there were marches, protests, rallies, and there was strong support among the International Brigade, which was a organization of all these different leftists from all over the world that came to Spain to fight against Francisco Franco's nationalist forces made up primarily of fascists. So the International Brigade had the Abraham Lincoln Battalion, made up primarily of Americans, who had the Tom Mooney Company. So that's the origins of my pseudonym and I'll eventually do an episode on the Spanish Civil War. I think it might be a multi-part episode. There's a lot of information to cover with that. I glossed over it pretty heavily here, and Tom Mooney as well. I might do an episode on Tom Mooney. I don't know. But yeah, so that's what this show is all about. That's what I'm all about as a person, as a organizer, agitator, whatever you want to call me. So yeah, I hope to see more conversational stuff. I mean, there's already plenty of conversation. I want to throw my erstwhile hat into the ring and have my voice out there, and to organize and put my opinions out there as much as possible, and to hear other people's opinions, and to learn through everyone else, because we don't advance past this stage of society without learning and and taking into account everybody else, and trying to build a better world, because that's, at the end of the day, that's all we can do at this point. We have run out of time to reform the worldwide capitalist system. If there was an opportunity to reform it, that opportunity has passed. I don't think there ever was, but people would disagree with me on that, and I'm open to have that discussion. I don't want to call it a debate, but I'll discuss it with somebody. Absolutely, somebody, especially somebody that's more well read than me. Please, if you are, let me know. I'll have you on the show. But so the time has passed to reform it. It has to change. And I give it a ballpark, like 20 years. Like, if we don't do something within 20 years, and the timeline may be shorter than that. I don't know. Maybe we have 10 years. Maybe we have 5. Maybe we have 1 year to change it before we really are past the point of no return. But so that's, we have to do it, because no one is coming to save us but us. It's down to us as a people, as a society, and that's a humanity-wide, across the planet thing. Like, that's not just in the United States or in one country here or there. Like, it has to be everybody. We all have to do it, because otherwise they're gonna, the wealthy are gonna sell us down the river, and Jeff Bezos is gonna fly away on a rocket or something. I don't know, but they're gonna try and get away, and we've got to do what we can to make sure we take care of ourselves. So that's I'm going to wrap this up. I've been rambling for, I don't even know how long. It doesn't have a timer on it. I've been rambling for a hot minute. So I'm going to bring this to a close. I'm going to say that if you like the content, please send me a message. I want to communicate with people. I want you to interact with me. I want to interact with you. Whatever you have to say, shoot it to me. I don't care if it's negative. Even tell me my camera sucks. I know it sucks. Tell me my hair's all falling out. I know it's falling out. It's terrible. Yeah, reach out, communicate, and I will see y'all in the next one. So peace and solidarity to all.